Hello and welcome to a brand new adventure, and today we're back in Bradford and we're going to be looking at the famous Bradford Exchange Station. So here I am on another mound in Bradford, and right behind me is the retaining wall for the whole site that used to be Bradford Exchange Station. So let's flip you around and I'll show you this magnificent site right here. So right over here you've got the Leisure Exchange, which is up on the road up there, and a little car park just up there above the wall. And if I pan around this way, where the courts building is now is where the main station building or the canopy was, and the lines heading out this way down to where the current interchange is. A nice parking warden there giving somebody a ticket. But these buildings here would have all been part of the main station areas or the goods areas. And I know for a fact right here on this site was a large warehouse building, and it was labelled on the old maps as a bonded warehouse, which is kind of like, if I remember rightly, customs and excise for goods coming in on the railways. And an amazing little spot over here which I didn't expect at all, right in the corner on the remains of the old outer wall, is what looks like a fireplace or an oven of some sort, maybe, or I don't know, kiln. Who knows? But definitely part of the building. It used to span from right where I'm stood now at this wall all the way down to where the entrance in to the car park is, just down there. And with the main station site, like I said, on my left. So let's take a closer look round the station site. Now I know a few of you on the channel have been wanting me to do auditing videos, which I'm not brave enough to do. However, you might see that today because I'm about to film outside the court building and I know my rights. Now first of all, I'm going to start with a photo fade taken from up there at the roadside, looking across the site this way, so you can see where we are in relation to where the station was. Have a look at this photo fade as well, which is going to show the front of the station, or the back of the station canopy. The front would have been obviously the far side, and the court building that's replaced it today. So I would have been stood right where I am now on one of the middle platforms as it headed out of the back of the canopy and looked towards the main building, and then back out to today, and again just a car park with a court building. All these stations are now car parks. We're getting like Blackpool in Bradford. Now, having looked on the old maps, right in this corner here, probably at this level, would have been a railway turntable right here, just where these cars are now. Again, no signs of it today, but that's where there was one. And there was also another one right in this corner, just over here. So just where these white cars are in front of me would have been another railway turntable just there for turning engines round. Again, absolutely nothing today. And there you've got the Great Victoria Hotel, which is actually a rather lovely hotel. Not yet been vandalised by the Britannia group like the other one has, the Midland. Anyway, here's the court building, which is roughly where the station canopy would have started, but it wasn't in this shape as the building is today. So the lines actually came in from over that corner there on a diagonal and headed off sort of that way, rather than coming in where the hotel is here, which obviously has always been there. Now it's worth mentioning there used to be a canopy as well from the back of the hotel. So I think it was the door down here, not this one. There used to be a canopy that ran across here and joined onto the side of the station building, and to keep you, or to shelter you from the rain if you left the station and went directly into the hotel. A bit like the one in Leeds Central, they had the same thing with their hotel. But we're going to be heading around the courts building, and you never know, we might get stopped but they can't. And I'm going to show you a few things at the back of it as well. Now I'm going to attempt another photo fade for you from right here. It's rather difficult today because, as you can see, they've got a lot of construction going on and they've blocked off this whole area, which is an absolute ball ache because I needed to get right there where that digger is. But anyway, let's fade this picture in. So this shows the side of the station building where the court building is now, and the old road access up the side of it that used to head directly into the side of the station building for drop-offs and deliveries, you name it. And that's normally the famous entrance sign that you see. And then back out again to today. And yeah, completely different. And then this photo fade here, taken down the side of the old Telegraph and Argus printing building and looking towards the front of the station building on the top of the huge retaining wall. And you can see there the railings have changed. The wall is still here, the road is still here, and you can see the old doors and entrances are still there on the wall but being bricked up now. And then back out into today. And yeah, again, not actually that different, but there's the old Telegraph building and some of the old warehouses that still stand today, and St George's Hall at the end. So these used to be, one of them, I think this was the old court building before the Telegraph, and then that was a warehouse. So they're all railway related anyway. So we're going to head down there shortly, and I'm going to show you all that, what remains down there. So yeah, we would have been heading down the side of the station just like the court building is now, although at an angle, as you can see, it would have been going in that way. And down here on the right would have been a large doorway or a window. I mean, even in the last 10 years, this view has changed so much because you've got the Broadway shopping centre right there now, which wasn't there obviously. All that was warehouses and factories and mills and you name it, all right through the city centre. But let's head, or before we do actually, just show you that bricked up doorway again there, and then we'll head through this archway and up the steps. Now these would have been the original station entrance steps. So right here there would have been a sign up there, and you can see where the markings are for where the sign would have been mounted. It's a Bradford Exchange, and then this would have been the entrance into the station from street level pretty much. So if we head up the steps, it's now a lovely little garden area. And where these steps are is pretty much where they were in the station. So we would have been at the top of here, would have been the station concourse level. So I'll just start up here. And then on the concourse level, you headed down these stairs and out onto the street level. So here's the concourse level, sort of about here. As you can see, like I said, completely different now. And all this was underneath the canopy as well. And there was ticket offices and shops and things all around here. And you had the stairs. Now I'll try to show you a picture which shows you these stairs, not the exact ones, but the stairs here in this location. So just to give you an idea of what this section would have looked like underneath the canopy, it would have been something like this. Unfortunately, I can't get you in the exact position of where the picture was taken because it's all fenced off. But it just gives you an idea of what is outside now. There's a lovely little seating area. It used to be all inside that huge canopy. And then back out to today. And you had the steps down there to the entrance in, which are still there. And then the same on the right hand side here. And these still exist today as well. Nice to see they kept something anyway. Yeah, this would have been inside the station building heading down, and you can see where the level of the building would have been right there. And just while they're doing some of these paving works outside the building, when they dig holes, I love looking down. You can see again red bricks in there, deep down, and lots of stones, big stone blocks. So that would have been the foundations underneath the station. Now I made it round the other side of the court building. I'm looking back at where the station would have ended on my right hand side here. and this retaining wall, and right on the other side of this wall here was large factories and mills which spanned from left to right all the way down here. Now it's all greenery, which is nice, but there was large buildings and industry here, backing on to the station frontage. Now it's also worth mentioning the end of the site here, just to the left of the court building, where the car parking is now. That was a massive goods shed connected onto the exchange station building. So right through there where those cars are, and where we started the video, I'll just point you through the fence so you can see it. This was the site of a large goods station, or goods building, shall we say. Like I said, running along parallel along the side of the exchange canopy. So let's head down here and onto the main road and have a look at the frontage from down there. Absolutely no idea what these are. There you go. Here's the view of that retaining wall from the roadside now. So like I say, this section here where the grass and trees are would have been large warehouses and mills backing on to the front of the station. So you wouldn't have seen this retaining wall here. And then just at the side of them would have been probably the main entrance into this station, which we saw from the other side a minute ago, looking down the steps. So yeah, you would have come up here from the city centre and entered Bradford Exchange Station, and you can still see actually the plinth or the markings up there from the old sign that used to stand on the wall there. So yeah, you would have headed up these stairs here, directly inside the station, right there. And you can also see these windows that have been blocked up. Them windows are absolutely ginormous. But yeah, it's nice that they've kept it anyway. I'm really happy that they did keep it and they didn't just flatten it. Now there was also a lot of talk around Bradford being a much better city if they ever linked the two stations as a cross station, so through from the Exchange to Foster Square, which is on the other side of Broadway. Now obviously back in the early days it was proposed, and apparently the permission for it was granted. It just never happened, and yet again recently there was a resurgence of interest in doing it, but it never happened. It would probably be the answer to a lot of Bradford's transport problems. So as you can see on the right there is what was Exchange. I mean, now it terminates right up there, and then now blocking the way is the huge Broadway shopping centre, which if they would have to demolish it to get through with a viaduct to link to Foster Square on the far side. It's not very far, but it's enough to put people off. If it was to be linked through as a railway, I'm sure it would make life a lot easier for people in Bradford. Yeah, that's really not going to happen today. I mean, the amount it would cost now would be astronomical. I think we missed the boat on that one, which is a big shame. Unless the government does stump up some money, and I mean billions, to sort Bradford out, but that's never going to happen. We're not London. Now there was also another station on the site of what Exchange Station became, and it was the original incarnation of Exchange. I'm just going to show you a picture now which shows that old building, and then they built the Victorian canopy instead of that to replace it. And also Bradford Exchange was actually Bradford's second passenger station, because the original one was at Dolphus Street, which was just up the hill, which I'm doing a video on today. And that became a goods station, and the Exchange became Bradford's main station. So I'm now going to head round the other side of the building and the interchange side and show you what's remaining round there, because there's quite a few things to show you, and also a few more photo fades. And one more look back up Drake Street there, which we walked down earlier, to the side of the station. So we're going to head round the front now. Look frontage of the Great Victoria Hotel there, which was the original railway hotel, like I say, with the station directly behind it, and then onto today's station, which is nothing more to me than a glorified bus stop, and it's Bradford Interchange. It's absolutely terrible, although I am told they are going to improve it, but I think you would need a lot of work to improve that and turn it into some kind of station that Bradford deserves, because Exchange was exactly that. It was a huge station that looked or resembled King's Cross in London, or even York, but what we've got today is just something that you would find in a small town, which is absolutely terrible. Anyway, another photo fade to do from this retaining wall right here. So I'll just get my camera in position. So if I just zoom in for you, and then I'm going to fade in this shot here, which shows the Exchange canopy during demolition in the 1960s, late 60s, early 70s, I think. Yeah, when they knocked the station building down and they just left the iron shell on the outside. And then back out to today and zoom out as well. So that's looking down the side of the station hotel, the Great Victoria. So let's head up here and I'm going to show you some more things at the top of the site. Now, in today's Bradford Interchange, you've got the bus station as well directly above it, which is closed at the minute for a lot of work doing. I remember the original one with the huge canopy, but all this site here, including where the Santander building is behind, was actually part of the goods station for Bradford as well. So all of this was covered in huge goods sheds right up to what is the Bradford Hotel today, or was the Hilton. All that was these huge brick buildings that spanned across this whole site with lines all over the place heading in. So yeah, that was a huge site, and that was actually a goods station, not just a goods shed. So I'm now stood in between where the old and new meet. So right in front of us there is the current railway station, which terminates right behind that glass there. But it would have headed underneath this road here at this angle and straight forward into the canopy right in front of you there, which was a lot bigger and a lot better. Like I say, it's a dead end now, right there. I mean, it always was, but it now stops short of the main road. So I'm now going to point you over this wall and show you the station that Bradford has today, which is just terrible. So, one of the largest cities in Britain, and that's our station. Just a couple of platforms right there. Terrible. I know we've got two, but the other one's smaller than this. So yeah, that's all that remains. And right down here, underneath where I am now, I'll just pan you down, there's a building there if you can see it. That was the original, or right here where the fence is, was the original signal box for the Exchange. So you would have headed under there into the station, and there was a huge signal box just here, and these were just lines coming in at the time. I mean, the alignment and everything is exactly the same. It's just, it dead ends here now, rather than, you know, a quarter of a mile in front of it there. Like I said, all the site here behind was all a vast goods yard and goods sheds and a goods station. Now, I just found out the goods station was known as Bridge Street Goods Station, and I believe that was more on the backside here where the Santander building is. So the lines would have branched off from sort of up here and headed in that way. Now this is a really good photo fade to show you now. So we're looking at the current interchange building with the train parked up, and then this is what it used to look like whilst they were constructing the interchange and the old road bridge there at the back, as it headed on into the old Exchange Station. And you can see as well in the centre the old signal box that was there, and then back out to today and to our modern bus stop with trains. You can see it hasn't changed since the 1970s at all. And another one taken from another angle on the same bridge, now well before the interchange appeared. And again, you can see the lines running underneath the road there, which has been lowered since, and also the signal box in the middle, and back right through into Exchange Station. And then back out today. It's definitely a lot cleaner today in terms of less soot, but I don't know that it's better. I'm just going to head over and show you the other side of that bridge, so you can see the lines coming in as they do today. Again, all this would have been sidings, especially over this bit here. Definitely all railway buildings and sidings coming in here. If you look at the old maps, it's just an absolute mess of lines. Whereas today it just splits just over here for the interchange. But yeah, that was all a huge goods site, all the way out, right up to sort of West Bowling, right at the top of Bradford. And we're going to end the video on this final photo fade, taken with the interchange directly behind me, looking across to what was one of Bradford's finest stations, the Exchange Station, which closed in the early 1970s and was demolished soon after. Probably known as our King's Cross. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed our little explore around the old Bradford Exchange Station and what is today's interchange. I hope you're going to join me for some more videos in Bradford soon. We're going to cover all the stations. I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye for now.